I do know there is a conversation within the African community about people infiltrating the genre and taking ownership of Afrobeat.
Infiltrating.
Because think about this. So like who she won for the best Afrobeat record, and you're not Afrobeat, takes like a slight to the people who are actually Afrobeat in that category. So they're like, okay, shout out to her because Tyler had an incredible year, makes great music, she's a great talent, but we should give Afrobeat their true shine. Now, I don't know how we fix this problem, because I remember when Burna Boy was just starting to go like global and hitting America music and stuff like that. He was very adamant. Every interview that he goes to, he said, it's not Afrobeats. I don't know what y'all talking about. It's called Afrobeat. Like they're very particular, because they're like, we created this and we want you all to get it right. He's like, this is Afrobeat. It originated here in Nigeria. And he was also telling people like, yo, that's not Afrobeat. This is Afrobeat, or this is it. And Burna Boy even says he's not Afrobeat. He said he's Afrofusion, because he takes styles from Afrobeat and makes other music out of it too. But it gets confusing, because the industry needs to categorize it, or wants to categorize this kind of music in a certain lane and box. But Africa has 54 different countries with thousands and thousands of different languages and thousands of different music genres. And it's like, how do we put this in an iTunes library?
I mean, I think just like with all music genres, especially like for colored Black people, it just takes time. Because I feel like in the grand scheme of things, African music being celebrated worldwide is still in its infancy. Yeah. So people are going to still have like these misconceptions. So it's like, it's good that people like Tyler speak out, and Burna Boy and Tems, and other popular African artists speak out, just so we can make the corrections.
Exactly. Yeah. And don't hold back on it too, because the music industry is definitely giving them pushback. Because I even pay attention to the library as well too. I go in there and I see where they have Afrobeat, then they change it to just African music and stuff like that, because they're trying to figure it out too. And then you have, and this is very much understandable, like all African artists don't want to be grouped in as the same thing, because they're all different. Exactly. Yeah. That's the equivalent of saying that country music is the same as Latin music, because they're both in North America. You know what I mean? It sounds stupid. And to them, it sounds stupid, because if you say, well, country music is like a Southern American thing and Latin music is like a Caribbean thing, but because we're both in North America, it should be the same thing. So Africans are like, no, like Afrobeat is different than Nama Piano. You know what I mean? I get it. I get that frustration. You know what I mean? And so this is why we have a platform like this, so we can like have these conversations and push this out and stuff like that, so more people can understand and get y'all voices heard as well too. So shout out to my girl Tems. She was on the Breakfast Club.
Oh yes, I wanted to see this.
Yeah. So she was on the Breakfast Club and she was asked about Afrobeat. I'm gonna let you guys hear her response to this. Experience. Because, like, how the hell do you not know that?
I didn't know it.
Yeah, well, for you, it's okay. But for somebody like DJ Envy, who is running the biggest Black radio show in the world, and you're a DJ that plays music and finds music and puts it out there, you should know the origin of where this music is. You would think,
but at the end of the day, like I said, because African music as a whole is just now... I'm not saying that it's never, certain artists hasn't reached the worldwide platform, but as far as its popularity, it's still in its infancy. Yeah. So there are going to be misconceptions, especially because I feel like the gap between the two cultures is still, it's not as wide as it was before, but we're closing the gap, but there's still going to be gray areas like this.
Right. Because she even mentioned, like, if you... Afrobeats was created to uplift Nigerian people, and now you have people from other countries in Africa who have adopted the sound and is creating their own music, and they're now being put under Afrobeat. And so now this makes it extremely confusing, And this is where we have to have. There's only two ways that this can really happen. It can either be a consolidation where the Nigerian people kind of allow people to in their genre like welcomely, or everybody else finds a way to, I guess, get their own sound, and not even get their own sound because they have their own sound, but I guess, market or public or push their style to be more popular. Like, I think On My Piano does a really great job of separating itself as well too. From Afrobeat, you can clearly hear the difference of sound between those two genres, and I know there's many more. Let me know in the comments like some different African genres of music. I'd love to hear it. But I really think that's the only two ways, and it's like it might be it's easier to unite it.
I feel like with time it'll be like maybe it'll just the category that it ends up being called, because that's another thing. Just like hip hop is like a category, but a lot of different sounds and artists fall under it.
Right.
I think that like umbrella. I think that eventually we'll get to that place, but because it was originated in Nigeria, they feel the need to let
take ownership of it,
as they should. Yeah. But like, for example, like hip hop originated in New York, so if there's gonna always be that general like standard and respect because it's like New York. Like New York rappers, when they come out, you have to meet a standard, because of the history, But at the end of the day, hip hop has grown, and that's a great example, Carmen, because now from New York, then you had the LA, the West Coast sound, then you had the South. Like Atlanta has been running hip hop for like the last decade. And, New York is still New York, but like the different sounds are different. Like, okay, so a Travis Scott is going to sound different from a Kodak, who's going to sound different from a Kanye West, who's going to sound different from a Kendrick, who's going to sound different from a Drake. Exactly.
They're all hip hop.
Exactly. But, New York has also like went through their period of being like, we made this shit. This is our shit. Right. Y'all niggas did your own thing, and it created something like a beautiful culture. Yeah, for sure. But, let them talk like this. This is our shit, right? And even to that point too, because I know we're talking America, but hip hop also transcended to different countries too. We got UK drill, is a big example of that. Ghanaian drill, you know what I mean? So like, I think that Nigeria should take ownership. Everybody should know Nigeria created Afrobeat, and whatever sounds are influenced by that, just give them that respect. But, also for the others, different sounds, they should also have their own respect as well, too. I love this dialogue. I would love to hear what everybody in the comments thinks about this. So make sure you guys put in the comments what you guys think should happen, and if we're off base or not. I'm going to let Tems finish up right here, too. But, yeah, I still believe that DJ Envy should have known where Afrobeats came from because of his tenure, just because, what I mean, of where he's at with it. But all right, let's get back to it. Hello. What happened?
Right. Next, what y'all doing, man? Play my shit.
Elon said, "I'm the only South African you guys are gonna be chatting about on my platform."
Right. She's serenading me right now. Like, tell me all the meanings of your songs, Tim. Oh man! All right. I'm gonna get round of applause for
We love Tems.
Love Tems, man. Round of applause for Tems. Yeah, man, I just love how they're representing themselves in their country and their Africanness as well too. Still being, proud of who they are, representing who they are, stuff like that, but also having the patience for our American brains to, because we're just so used to like people like, you mispronounce something, cool, whatever, like move on, blah, blah, blah. They're like, no, this is how you say it. This is what it means. Right. Get it right. And we should take more pride in that and stuff like that too. Like, how many times I know people mispronounce my name all the time. You know what I mean? And
Emmanuel.
Right, man. I've been called every Monty under the book.
They've called me Cameron.
You should have came up with a pink jacket on the end. Like, what'd you call me?
Cameron.
But yeah, man. I think she also explained it beautiful, and not to mix the two clips together because this interview happened before the VMAs and stuff like that. So Tems was not going after Tyler in no way, shape, or form. But I do know there is a conversation within the African community about people infiltrating the genre and taking ownership of Afrobeat.
Infiltrating.
Because think about this. So like who she won for the best Afrobeat record, and you're not Afrobeat, takes like a slight to the people who are actually Afrobeat in that category. So they're like, okay, shout out to her because Tyler had an incredible year, makes great music. She's a great talent, but we should give Afrobeat their true shine and, let Tyler have her shine in another way. Like Tyler's Water is a pop record. Like it doesn't have to be really categorized or anything. It's pop, like for real. And then, let Afrobeat get their shine as well too. That's my opinion on it because it can come off a way, even though this is maybe not Tyler's intention, but it can look like people said, the Afrobeat artists are doing good, doing blah, 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 but we're going to put this Tyler in there and give it to her anyway. You know what I mean? Like it can look away. And that's been done in the hip hop stuff. I mean, we think about Macklemore. Like Macklemore won best hip hop album over Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City. That was a slap in the face to us.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Great example.
So for them, they probably feel like, shout out to her. Cool. She's African, but this is a slap in the face for Afrobeat artists. So I get their concern as well too. So okay. I think we broke that down well. Okay. I think it's time to get into the show.
Top hill.